Welcome, coaches, to your official graduation from the Holistic Gut Practitioner 13-week certification training. I just want to start out by telling you guys how stinking proud I am of you, how awesome of a process this has been to watch. You know, I'm just a piece of the puzzle. We're just a piece of the puzzle, just like you guys, just like how we talk about you're working with your clients and, they hold all of the power. But sometimes you need somebody to hold a mirror for you and to see some of that power that we don't necessarily always pull out of ourselves. That sometimes, the environments we're in a lot don't necessarily encourage us to find and to dig out, So coming together, not just you guys here with me and in the school, but you guys with each other has been so cool to watch because you've really uplifted each other. You've motivated each other. I feel like you've played off of each other really, really well. And you're an amazing team and you guys earned it. We've done this for 13 weeks. So this is a 14th week of meeting. That's over 3 months. We've been coming back to this drawing board, and everybody who's making this round of graduation, who's on this list, congratulations. Everybody that hasn't and that's working on going to jump in the next round again, no worries, that's fine too. But congratulations, you guys. Before we start with everybody's names, I'm going to read a little bit about when I go over each name. I will share just a little snippet kind of your niche or your focus as a coach, to the best that I could off of some of the information we had. But what I do want you guys to know is that what this means to me, watching you guys all here, and not to be overly deep, if you're around me at all, you just know there's no way that we can have a conversation that's not deep in some sense, right? So yes, there's probably some coaches that were here for some education. They're kind of simple about it, but I have had the pleasure of talking to so many of you, and having so many of you share your personal stories and your struggles and your passions and your dreams and all of that with me. And so I know what this means for many of you. I know what this moment means, not just the certification in hand, but truly this brain shift of launching and stepping out into something that you've created, that you've worked hard for, that you found purpose in. And for a lot of people, there's been purpose created from a lot of pain that we've gone through and things we've experienced individually, pain that we've watched other people suffer from. And it's so cool, especially after, 2020 and all the chaos that we've all seen in the health world, to see you guys, to watch you all now just launch out there and step out there and be these incredible gifts to everyone that you're going to have in front of you. I'm really stinking proud of you. You guys deserve this. This is yours. And so with that said, let's start reading some names, and then I will give you guys an opportunity at the end if you want to add anything or share anything, or feel free to do that. Okay, so like I said, forgive me if I don't get all the names right. We've got coaches from multiple countries that were in this together with us, different time zones, all kinds of stuff. So it's been really incredible. So with that said, we have our first graduating coach. Now this is alphabetical by last name. Maya Allen. She's bringing gut health into the health and fitness industry via her practice. That's going to be her summary of her focus. Stacey Allen, she's an esthetician incorporating gut health services into her skincare practice. Danielle Archulette is going to be focusing on children's gut health and postpartum women. Okay, this is how you guys are using. You guys have you brought this piece of you into your training, and it's really cool to watch it all. Wendy Crabb, she's a weight loss for women over 50 specialist. She's been doing this for a very, very long time, and she's sought to bring more education into her business, and she's going to be better for it and just a blessing to everybody she's working with. Katie Delaney, her focus, she's going to be working with using holistic practices and incorporating simple gut health strategies to help people kind of simplify some of the processes. Deidre Lee Doino, she's going to be combining gut health with her yoga practice. Love that. Holly Finnegan, also yoga specifically for trauma and recovery. And she's going to be incorporating gut health within her niche that she's working in. Michelle Flickinger, gut health and biome testing to really get down to some of those nitty gritty pieces of the puzzle for people. Huge blessing. Marcella Gervasi, she specializes, she's bringing gut health into her her specialty of focusing on low tox living. If you guys understand how much garbage is in the stuff in our environment, she has a great personal story about why that is her niche, and she's combined these things to make a great practice. Alicia Green, she is focusing on individual coaching and growth. She's going to be a mentor individually with people and help them walk their journey. Talia Harp, she's going to be developing her practice and utilizing gut health in her journey of doing that. Elizabeth Hill, she is bringing gut health into her holistic energy work space. She works with sound bowls, massage, Reiki, etc., and using gut health in that. And I love that combination, Elizabeth. Awesome job. Reina Hubashi, she specializes in emotional eating. We know how powerful the brain-gut connection is, and she's a blessing to this area of need. This is a huge area of need. Dolly Lee Jett, she's bringing gut health into her specialty of senior and end-of-life care. I love that. Jessica Lehman, gut health, preceding fitness and diet routine. So she's really emphasizing laying the importance of the gut microbiome before we start some of the fitness regimens and diet regimens that we tend to take on. Brilliant. Susie Lear, she's going to be launching her holistic coaching practice and utilizing her gut health specialty. Sherry Lip, she is focusing on and has been focusing on IBD and simplifying the process of remission and management for people with IBD. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, this also covers, this is encompassing of people with Crohn's and colitis and conditions that can actually be very disruptive and feel very severe. Andrea Nicholson, she has a nutrition therapy practice that she's utilized gut health within, and she focuses on women over 40 and helping them really thrive in their health and their life. Karen Powley, she has a focus on mothers and really getting in there, especially moms who are just kind of getting out of the hardcore part of life, which we all understand, and really helping them with gut, brain, and hormones. Awesome. Dina Radcliffe, she works within a practitioner's office, and she's helping advance the services that are being offered there. Amy Rank, she is combining an essential oils business with gut health therapy. Awesome. Rachel Solomskey, she she focuses on nutrition and energy practice and sustainable fat loss modalities. So that's kind of been her focus, and she's going to be utilizing gut health within that. Alexandria Wells, gut health education and mentorship, and really mentoring people through the process. And last but not least, we have Pauline Yousefi. She's incorporating gut health into skin healing and understanding and helping people understand the importance and the root of the gut skin connection. So before I open this up, I just want to congratulate all of these coaches. You guys have done so awesome. And if any of you want to say anything or add anything, I'm going to unmute everyone now. If we talk over each other too much, then we'll go to the chat box and see. But if anyone wants to say anything, I'm going to figure out how to unmute you all. Okay, I've allowed you guys to unmute yourselves. If you have anything that you want to add on this, anything you want to share, anything about your journey, anything about your focus or your passion or your experience, please feel free to share it with anyone or with everyone here. I'll give you the opportunity to do that. You can type it in the chat box too. Okay, I've got the chat box open. If anyone wants to add anything, I'll go ahead and read it for you. But this is super, super exciting, you guys. I love all your focuses. I'm going through everyone's final projects right now, so you will hear from me more on your personal stuff, but we just had to get everything ready for graduation as of right now to get you guys here. So, oh, Dolly is still muted. Oh, it's not letting you unmute. Let's see here. Let's see. Did that work?
There we go. Yeah.
Yay. I did it. All right.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Did somebody want to go before me?
Go ahead. I'll go after you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I joined this starting to head off in a completely different way. I've been a certified health coach for a while, but I was going to go ahead and get nationally certified, and I was going off in a whole different direction because of COVID. My practice, my nursing practice, kind of stayed online. And along the way, I did a Zoom, and it was on death and dying. And I've worked with that for over 40 years, but not directly in hospice or anything. And actually, what I've learned here is besides being gently, is that a word? Gently?
Yeah.
Gently pushed a little bit to embrace social media. So that was new for me, pretty much. Actually, not at the rate I've been doing this, but that along with the fact that I embraced end of life doula, which I had no no idea that I was going to get so deep in that. And as you probably know, end of life terminal illnesses can be from years, way years ahead, 3, 2, could be terminal right at the end. And I thought, well, how am I going to work the gut practitioner into that? You know, I got the education. Education's never a waste, but how? And the more I started thinking about it, it's so much a part of your whole body, right? Mind, body, spirit. The nutrients we take in, the detoxifying and everything else. So it's pain control. It's a lot of pain control, and that is what they're dealing with all towards the end. So here I go. I'm off onto a whole different thing.
Let me be the first to thank you for the work you're doing, Dolly. I've known some people that do work in this area. It's a special person to do what you're doing, and it's a necessary thing. And any of us who've ever lost someone, or who even contemplate when we get to that time in our life, having someone there and a companion to nurture you, especially when family's going through all the things that the family goes through, and the partners and the things, a lot of dynamics. And you are a huge blessing. And thank you for taking this on in your journey. That's really special.
That's very kind of you. Thanks.
Okay, I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
It's Rana Hobeji, which is I'm an emotional eating coach.
Yeah.
And I've been working through this with different clients. Yet now my niche is right now depression. I'm thinking of depression, yet it's linked to hormone imbalance as well. So if I want to do my niche, and I'm asking you as a coach,
Yeah.
do you think I should put it under hormone imbalance or depression and the bacteria in the stomach? Which one is like more familiar in the coaching world?
So I feel like depending on who you're really wanting to get to, if you what is the most conscious symptom that your clientele has? Because I know in my personal experience, people with hormone imbalances obviously struggle frequently with anxiety and depression and things like that. Like I've been through all that, but they don't always know that that's their thing. But people who suffer with anxiety and depression, they often have hormonal issues, but they don't always know it's connected. And it just depends on where you want to grab them, because if you talk to them about mental health, you grab a lot of people who are in a heart place. So it depends on where you're at as a coach. It depends on where you are wanting to get people. If you are wanting to find them in that place, or if you're wanting to find them more in the place of conscious hormonal disruption to what they understand, right? Which is maybe like my cycles are off, or my brain fog, and early menopause and all these things, you will get those people too. So I think it just really depends on where you want to nurture people, because you'll be encompassing your knowledge of all of it. But I think you got to figure out where you are really called to give. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Raina. Great focus. I love that focus.
Hey, Brittany, it's Alexandria.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask, so kind of what I was honing in on is mental health and sensory challenges.
Beautiful.
I had put that in the feature and I didn't know. I mean, is that itself, that's a niche, is it?
That's a great niche. So, and so are you referring to like spectrum disorder type sensory issues?
Yes. So, basically from the very minimal of, we all have sensory issues, right? To some extent, to the very minimal, all the way to, I would like to work with autistic children as well. Part of my story has come from having anxiety and depression pretty much my whole life. And then I discovered that my son was having some sensory overstimulation. A lot of people try to tie that into autism, but what they don't know is you can have sensory issues and not have autism, but most autistic children have sensory issues.
Yeah.
So I have been really enlightened through gut health and him, and learning through this, how to heal that. And it's a journey and it's a multifaceted approach, but I just feel so led, and I feel like everything around me has just been pulled towards, I see such an audience for this, I just didn't know if the mental health was too broad. I just felt, I mean, do you think that is too broad, or
unless you're not wanting to commit fully, then if you're in this with working with children, and spectrum disorders and things like that, and specifically children, because there's also adults.
Yes.
I would verbalize it down. I think mental health is very broad. So, like Raina was saying, she's mental health, but her thing is really more, emotional eating and hormonal disruption, anxiety, and depression, which is connected to these, self-destructive habits, and so that's you guys have different niches. And you should. That's great. That's going to better draw you to your ideal client by having these different niches. So if you both use the term mental health, there's no need to do that unless you're unsure of where you're going with that, because there's a huge audience that needs what she was just talking about. And there's a huge audience that needs help with their children. I can vouch for so many people, and even themselves as adults. Like my husband won't kill me for saying this, but he's kind of ADD, right? And we've talked about this before. So sometimes we have to, it's not like he sat down and got diagnosed, but it affects a lot of how he functions and does different things. And so but I talk about that because he talks about, well, like maybe there's medication for this and this. And I'm like, let's just work on your central nervous system, on that communication pathway. You're always going to be you're going to, my oldest son falls somewhere on the spectrum. And that's the thing a lot of us do. People just think, autism, right? There's different levels of autism. God only knows where I fall on the spectrum. I mean, somewhere. I also think it's what gives me my greatest gifts. And a lot of us, my oldest son is like that, right? But like I explained to my husband last night, I was like, it's not about being like everyone else. When we talk about the spectrum, it's not about being like everyone else. It's about recalibrating and nurturing that brain gut pathway so that we can maximize how we live in our own bodies and our own minds and our own tendencies. Because like anything, like you guys know with anxiety, depression, any of these things, okay, when they get out of whack, they harm us and they throw us out of life and they hurt us. Yet, if I know this, a little bit of my anxiety keeps me going. It actually keeps me sharp. It keeps me making moves. It keeps me doing stuff. But if I'm not healthy with that, it keeps me disoriented. It makes me anxious. It makes me panicky. It makes me, things like that. And so I've learned that there's a homeostasis for each person, and it's not making the person the same. It's not making the child the same. It's cultivating the best homeostasis within the body and the body mind to maximize their potential, to keep them free of pain. A lot of spectrum, people that fall on the spectrum, children have a lot of actual literal gut problems and digestive distress and pain. So we don't want them to be in pain. We want them to be able to focus as much as possible. We want them to not be as sensitive to overstimulation. If your central nervous system's hyped up, you're extra sensitive to overstimulation and it causes more damage. So what you're acknowledging is you're just honing in and really maximizing, using this area of health and wellness to really calibrate and nurture the body so that it can be optimal exactly where it's at.
Absolutely. So I definitely feel after everything that you said and how much that resonated with where I feel I'm headed and where I'm at now, that the sensory is definitely more of what I would hone into. But again, I still, like, something in me is like, I don't want to just completely say that because I want to have a door open for mental health. But again, that's so broad. So that's kind of where I'm torn, is just like, because it could be anxiety, depression, all of the things, dementia, Alzheimer's, I mean, anything mentally, right? So
you could focus on even something like the central nervous system, calming the central nervous system, or calibrating the central nervous system. And you could, I mean, if you want to expand a little more on the term mental health, because people will just think anxiety, depression. So if you want to expand a little bit.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, it's all neurological. So exactly what you said, central nervous system. That's perfect. Well, this has been truly a beautiful experience, and I am so thankful to be a part of it. And I can't thank you enough for being the coach that you are. None of us would have been here without you. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'm really proud of you. I know how hard you worked through this to get here. So
thank you.
Anyone else want to share any of their stuff? Sorry, I have something in the chat here. Let's read.
Hey, Brittany, this is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. I'm so glad to hear you on here.
And I'm so sorry I'm talking so weird, but
okay.
Well, but I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm so excited about continuing to learn. And I feel like a sponge, and I just want to keep learning. And this is so fascinating to me. Just so the rest of you know, I basically got myself taken off of a transplant list with gut health. And this was about 4 years ago that I walked into the hospital not feeling right. And I had an out of the blue septic infection. And I was coded last rites, under 2 hours to live. They were trying to talk my children into unplugging me. And I had absolutely no hope to live through this. And I did. But see, what had happened is all my organs failed except for my heart, but they all came back except for my liver. And so I was put on that transplant list. And after being sent home basically to die on oxycodone and, you know, some vitamins I found out had an 8% absorption rate. I woke up one morning and had an epiphany, and I thought, livers regenerate. Why aren't they trying to fix me? And I'm an excellent researcher from my, you know, college way back when, but it still works. And I found out about the gut health and how the gut, you know, everything that goes into your gut, you know, basically causes problems for your whole body system. And if you're eating unhealthy, and you know, it was a very minimal form what I learned compared to this course. Oh my gosh. But, you know, it still led me to the point where I knew to get the correct nutrition and the form of, I just wasn't even taking vitamins, let alone 8% ones. There was no reason for it. And so I started doing my regimen that I learned about, and I turned myself around to textbook blood counts within a month and a half. And I'm talking from my deathbed. So I would not be here right now if it wasn't for finding out that information about gut health. And oh my gosh, when I found out about Brittany and talked to her, I just felt like this is why I'm here. I had been looking for my purpose, because I should have never lived through that. Like I said, the university calls me a miracle, and so does Mayo, because they share information. And so now I can pass it forward and help people that want to prevent illness. I would never promise anybody it could ever change, you know, like it did for me, of course, because of ethics, number one. But, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I just look forward to helping people in the best way that I can, and to try to get people healthier because of how horrible our diet is. It's unreal that we are, you know, the United States of America, and live the most unhealthy diet in the world, basically. So anyways, thank you, Brittany. God bless you. There's a star next to your name in heaven from me. And I should have never, ever been alive to this day. And I plan to. So that's all.
Michelle, we are so blessed to have you here. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I know that you had to have some like surgery stuff, random stuff lately, and you didn't know if you'd be able to make it, and you're here, and that is so cool. And the world is a better place because of your personal story and what you've got to put in there. And everyone said, if you can't read the chat box, they're all thanking you for your story, because that is incredibly powerful.
And if they use their, they want to talk to me more about it, that is just fine. It is all true.
Absolutely. Is Elizabeth coming through on this?
Yeah, sorry, I'm traveling.
You're
wasn't
fine.
It's noisy, but I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh.
Thank you. So I just talked to my younger sister today, and she's got PMDD.
Mm-hmm.
I've already lost 2 brothers to suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and she said she's suicidal just sporadically through that. And so I was excited to know that I have the tools to help her with the gut health. But then after listening to that other coach talk about the importance of the hormones, and she does, you know, managing that with her doctor, but like, would it be better to have her go to someone who, like that other coach, or would it be sufficient to just walk her through the program as is?
That is completely up to you. I'm going to connect you to someone to message me, because I have she's a functional nutritionist who you guys have seen work a lot. So Carly, who you've seen in the group, she knows a lot about this one. So if you guys aren't familiar, so PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It's a rather new terminology, but it is classified as hormonally related severe bouts of depressive and even very suicidal tendencies. And so I totally feel for you, and have, I'm sure that's opening such a wound right now. So just so you know, whether you like it or not, you're in my prayers, and so is your sister. And the time, I trust in timing. So I trust that you have some amazing tools. How family accepts family and what they're willing to do at any given time is always subjective to that, but I'm going to give you a bunch of resources, and we'll know too. And like I said, I'm going to keep that in my prayers, and for you to know where to involve other people and where not to. I've had people send people to me because it's their family. and I would do the same. You will generally not see my family come to me, right? But if I could probably send them to one of my coaches or somebody else who I felt like they'd really mesh with, and it would probably do better for my desired outcome. So you'll know how to do some of that. But education is power. So for people that are struggling with that stuff, to know that like this does not have to be forever, and to understand kind of like what's happening. So when you are in that place, you don't feel hopeless, like it's forever, so I'm going to connect you to her, and I bet you she's going to have some great things for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you. It's so awesome having you here.
I know. I just have to tell everyone, I started this back in 2020, and it was in the middle of COVID, and I had to shut down my store, and then I just kind of gave up, and then you started this program, and it was perfect. So thank you so much for letting me jump back in and get back on track.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You're amazing.
Oh, sure appreciate you guys. Stuff on here. Does anyone else want to share anything or type anything? I'll keep some stuff in the text. I'm looking in the text box too.
I just wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah.
Because early on I had posted that I wasn't expecting the mind portion to hit me so hard, which it has, and I've started to talk about it with my people. And with IDB, food can become, it's a big issue because people don't know what to eat, and I've started seeing people get like obsessed with restriction to the point of stress so bad that's like it's just as bad as eating something that doesn't work for them. And so I started talking about that and started talking about, like, I'm not calling food good or bad. You're just making choices. You don't have to be perfect. And people have started reaching out to me like, I'm so glad you said that, because she's like, this girl's like, I almost ate myself into an eating disorder. Yeah. Because I was so obsessed. But it kind of gets to be this group mentality of like, you have to do this. You can't do that. And so they're like, and she's like, I was feeling like I wasn't dedicated enough. And so I was really surprised. I wasn't sure how people were going to react, because I have been kind of more the other way of like, these are the foods you eat. And so I'm so glad that I took this and started learning more about that.
Very cool. And thank you, Sherry. And so she, for you guys that don't know, she works a lot with like Crohn's and colitis and stuff, which is really complex. It can be really complex. And we have a few students who struggle, have worked within that condition and struggled with it themselves. And that's why they're such a gift to everybody they're working with, because they have the personal experience. So thank you so much, Sherry. So Stacy says, sorry, I tried to, hopefully it's letting you unmute now. If anyone else have an issue, tell me. She says, I plan on specializing in gut health and skin, but I see clients that don't necessarily have skin issues, but will open up to me about how they're depressed or have anxiety or hormonal issues or have IBS. I feel like I need to be able to help all of these issues as well. How would you handle this? Well, I guess, Stacey, you know, it depends on what area you are, like how you are seeing these people. So if you're seeing them within your skincare services, you can introduce some of these packages and stuff, basically. And Amy says she feels the same way. So you can introduce some of these options and say, you know, I run these gut programs, or however you're going to be practicing it, you know, with the niche of helping skin because it's so connected. But the truth be told, that's my niche, but it impacts every area of health and wellness, specifically, especially mental health. So I'd be happy to chat with you about it. And this is, we're doing like an informational gut 101 class for some of your clients, whether it be online or in person, could be really beneficial. So I would say you can still stay true to your niche if it's what suits your soul, but invite people into that to expand upon the things that they don't know. Because when you talk to them, like you could do a skincare class or something and talk about the skin gut connection, but then really expand into gut health in general. And people are going to get a lot of tidbits about mental health and all the other things. And there might be a lot of clients that met you through the skincare world, but that are motivated to work with you because you spoke about something that's a much bigger issue for them, such as mental health, hormonal misalignment, etc. And can you guys all see the chat box okay, just so you can see where you're talking to each other? Just want to make sure I don't leave anything out. I still need to narrow down my niche more, but I have so many passions. It's been difficult for me, Alicia says. That is true. And you got to understand though, Alicia, can I share your previous employment situation? You can say yes or no. No hard feelings.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Or you can share. Do you want to tell them? You got some stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I worked as a pediatric physical therapist for 16 years. And with the mandates, I lost my job doing that. But along the way, I've slowly, through my own health stuff, my son's health stuff, and my mom's health stuff. So unexplained infertility, Pmdd, endometriosis, anxiety, Epstein-Barr virus, and then my child, had, my dog's barking at me, gut motility issues, and my mom's stage 4 cancer. So in a nutshell, I've developed a lot of knowledge and passion for helping people feel good and get healthy holistically. Because I conceived holistically. I was able to recover from HELLP syndrome holistically. My mom was given 3 months. This month is 6 years that she's still alive. And not, she's done both sides of the medicine, but I want people to feel good. I used to sleep 12 to 14 hours a day and still take a 3-hour nap almost every day and have to drag myself through life and have migraines. And now I wake up at 5 and often before my alarm goes off at 5 and just live life. And that's what I want to help people do. I want them to know that you can truly live life.
Mm-hmm. And you know what my advice would be too, is that while you're narrowing down your desired kind of niche as you go, sharing components, because you already know you have gut health as a niche, right? You guys just often, I push you to go beyond gut health blanketly, right? But you already have the gut health as a niche, but those pieces of your personal story will start bringing people out of the woodworks. And as that happens, it will also kind of help show you what areas maybe you're really drawn to working in and what people, and kind of make that clear when they just, through your connection, through your story.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. I feel like infertility through toddler years, mm-hmm. my passion, helping people conceive and then also helping them learn how to help their child have a healthy gut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So proud of you. Anybody else want to say anything? No pressure. One thing I just want to add as we finish up is, sorry, let's not make Alicia have to stay on the screen. So there's one thing that I just want to kind of finish up with for everybody is that this is yours to do what you want with. This is, you are, as an entrepreneur, like this is your business. Like, you are a coach, you are very well equipped, and you know where the growth spaces are. But like I tell everybody, so I'm just going to reiterate it. Don't let go of me, and I won't let go of you. Now that doesn't mean I can, be on the ball and, reachable in every way, shape, and form all the time. But that is why we do the masterminds. That is why we have the membership community. That's why we have the closed group. Like, all that succeeding is preceding, evaluating, and proceeding. And I was just talking about something, income always follows passion if you do it enough. If you do it enough, because you know what, even if you start really messy and you don't know what you're doing, you'll be so drawn to doing it. You'll find a way. You'll keep reevaluating, you'll tweak things, and you'll keep going. The other way around never works. So, a lot of us, we probably have experience tapping into things that made you money, but that didn't suit your soul. And how much does that last, right? And what you'll find is that both components are essential as you move forward, whether you're advancing the practice you already have, or whether you're starting something from scratch and really putting yourself out there for the first time. You'll need that analytical mind, that entrepreneurship, that business piece that weighs numbers and strategies and stuff like that. You need it, or else you'll never know how to measure or do the things you need to do. And a lot of people will go without benefiting from your expertise because they'll never be able to see you. Okay. So while you need that, don't ever let go of the passion part. If you ever get burnt out on the business, this is my personal advice. If you ever get burnt out, discouraged, frustrated because of the numbers games, because you don't feel like you have enough clients, or you're making enough money, or something's not working, or whatever. Sometimes we get, or it is working, you're getting a lot of people, but you're burnt out, and there's something needs to change. Always come back to the passion piece. Make sure that you recalibrate with that on a regular basis and show up here. That's why I say, like, meet us on the masterminds. Let's figure out where you're stuck, where you're frustrated, what you're feeling, and let's move through that. Let's strategize a way to do that and let everybody help support you through that process, because you're going to support each other. But that's kept me going. This is 5 years now, and this is the first time we've ever done a live training as a group. And it has been the coolest opportunity for me. I've personally mentored many, many coaches before this, and this hands down beats it, because your guys' power together is just so much more than I could ever do by myself. And I think you could do by yourself. I think you guys together are just unstoppable, and you've fed off each other so well. And because we just hit 5 years, so HWCA just hit 5 years in March, and I couldn't think of a better way to cross that finish line of 5 years than to watch all you guys do what you're doing, and to see the incredible stories within this group and all the things you guys are doing. I want nothing more than to watch you all just fly and achieve all of your visions. Revisit your vision board that you started in the beginning. You might be surprised what you see, and you might be motivated to elaborate and make a new one. So that's my 2 cents. Does anybody have anything else to add? I got something for y'all. Hold on. Before we close up today. Can you hear it? Some of you can hear it. Oh, so good. Okay, guys. Well, congrats. And I will see you guys where I see you guys. I love you all so much. And I'm so proud. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life and of your journey on the way to all the amazing things you're going to do.